Welcome to Sense of Style. I'm Stuart. 8 fragrances that make you feel like a boss. And in many ways, this is the exact opposite of my last video on compliments. For that, you want it to be warm and inviting and mass appealing and friendly. That's why people will give you a compliment. That's not what this is about. This is about social status. You are on a different level to other people. You are higher quality. You're the boss. Fragrance number 1, this is Ombra Leather by Tom Ford. This is the boss fragrance in my entire collection. There isn't anything else. This is a super high-end, high-quality leather. This is a boss in a couple of ways. It is Corinthian leather seats in a Bentley. This isn't old baseball glove leather. It's high quality, but it's also super strong. It's powerful. It embodies the power of the scent. It projects like a beast. It lasts a long time. It is leather after all. And most people don't pick up the amber or the jasmine, which I can get. Most people just pick up a lot of leather. And I mean, there's nothing more masculine and dominant than leather. And when it comes to fragrances in my collection, if, let's say, my house burned down and I lost all my fragrances, there are 3 that I would take if I was rebuilding for a channel. This is one of them. When it comes to Fragrantica voting of greatest fragrances of all time, the last 3 years, this has averaged being in the top 12 of all time. This is a super high quality boss fragrance. When it comes to that Fragrantica greatest fragrances of all time list, this fragrance, this is Green Irish Tweed, it's never on it because this fragrance has transcended that list because it's the scent, the DNA is so much part of the culture. The vast majority of laundry detergents smell like Green Irish Tweed. First Davidoff stole it, then the laundry detergent companies did. That's that's part of the culture. It's an iconic smell. Now, when it comes to the actual bottle of the fragrance, when you buy it, it's very, very high quality, somewhere between $300 and $400 a bottle, super, super high end. And you can really notice, well, you can't get iris, that powdery iris from your laundry detergent. You can here. You can get the very distinct lemon verbena. You can get the ozonic feel of the violet leaf. All of those things come through in the bottle. It's super concentrated. And it's funny, when you look at the celebrities that wear fragrances, Santal 33 is usually number 1. But when it comes to men especially, high-end, top-notch celebrities, it's amazing how many of them choose Green Irish Tweed. People like Tom Hanks and Clint Eastwood. And when you're talking about a boss, who's a bigger boss than Clint Eastwood? Fragrance number 3, we're going from a $350 fragrance to, I kid you not, Encre Noire à l'Extrême by Lalique. You can get this at the moment for $28. But this is still very much a boss fragrance. This is, I believe, the most well-balanced, high-quality version of the Encre Noire line. And when you're talking about vetiver, you're talking about aloofness. So you're going to smell clean, but you're going to be aloof. You're going to be separate. It's kind of minimalist, and it sends a very quiet but powerful message, and this fragrance does it really well. What I love about this is there's a warm resin benzoin that gives this a little bit of an ambery quality, balances out the fragrance really well. But also, it's important to know, and I firmly believe this when it comes to vetiver, the more you dress up, the more this will have an effect. Because, if you wore something like this that does have a fresh, sometimes it can come off as pickle juice quality. If you're wearing a t-shirt and flip-flops, people are more likely to look at you and go, yeah, maybe that is pickle juice. Maybe he spilled it on himself. But if you're wearing a 3-piece suit in a boardroom, you're going to get a very, very different effect. You're going to get that powerful, minimalist, aloof effect of the vetiver. It's $28. Super powerful, super boss fragrance. Fragrance number 4, Dior Intense. And I talked about the use of iris as not being a great compliment puller in my last video. And I stand by that. If you look at the comments for Dior Intense, it's almost universally, like every third comment is, oh, you know, I didn't like it at first. Or, yeah, it just smelled weird to me. Or it was too feminine, kind of lipsticky, floral kind of thing. So people don't pick up the quality of this right away. I liked it, but didn't love it immediately because this is more of an acquired taste. Acquired tastes don't work super well for compliments. Where it does work really well is quality. That's why this is considered to be year in, year out, the greatest fragrance of all time by people that know and wear fragrances. They've had a chance to try this out. The general public is not going to appreciate it. But one thing that always does come through when you put this on, even when I first tried it, I didn't quite understand it, but it really felt high quality. It really did. You almost like search for what is it about this that makes it smell so high quality. You kind of and then eventually you kind of figure it out with the subtleties. I guess that's a big part of the subtleties of the sweetness with the ambrette, the subtleties of the powderiness with the iris. Once you figure that out, you love it. You couple that with like 8 to 10 hour performance. Yeah, and I think the more you wear this as a boss, the more your employees will be like, okay, I get it. Fragrance number 5, this is Guerlain Lum Lo Boisee. This is back to the quiet boss. This is a vetiver-based fragrance. I still think vetiver is absolutely fantastic. If you are going for a high-end sort of authority, I'm in charge aesthetic, the interesting twist about this one is a lot of vetiver fragrances, they're fresh. It's sort of a citrusy way normally, but the citrus here and the overall feel is a green one. So the citrus here is lime, and you really do get a lot of lime. But there's also mint, and there is a grass note. So this is definitely, it's got a green tinge to it, the bottle. Definitely going for a green feel. So you're going to get a really nice, refreshing twist on a vetiver fragrance. Yeah, this is a really good vetiver fragrance. It's not to be overlooked. I like the green lime twist of this. Fragrance number 6 is an old school boss, maybe the old school boss fragrance. This is Bijan for men, by Bijan. Some people just call it Bijan. And do not be mistaken by this bottle, which has a very feminine air to it. This is the most masculine old school fragrance that I have tried. This one is more of a leather old school fragrance, and there is a fair chunk of leather in this. It also has aromatic elements too. You're going to get oak moss here. You're going to get sage, so herbal. But then you've got the secret weapon. There's a lot of cloves in this. So it's super, super masculine. I don't know if it's just me. It's a fairly inexpensive fragrance at this point because this is the reformulated version. But it feels, to me anyway, and I don't say this often, it feels higher quality than you would expect for something, you know, that's fairly inexpensive. But it is definitely a boss. This is pungent. This is loud. This is in your face. This is, you know, very, very dominant fragrance. Fragrance number 7, this is Prada L'Homme Intense. What I like about this is a lot of fragrances will come out with intense versions that are not more intense than the original. My God, this is so much more intense than the original Prada L'Homme. It isn't funny. So it's intense, more intense in a couple of different ways. The original Prada L'Homme has amber, and a nice subtle sweetness. This has tonka and amber, so that extra sweetness. This also has leather, and that's the key. I like the balance of leather, which is dominant and kind of like I'm in charge, and iris, which is sort of high-end sophisticated. So this is kind of coming at you in both ways. It's, you know, it's both dominant and higher quality. This is a great boss fragrance, super popular in the community. I doubt the general public has ever heard of it, but that's their mistake. And finally, I wanted to put a more inexpensive option on here. This is Halloween Man X. Definitely more of a more dominant fragrance when it comes to the Boss genre here. It does have some spices in it. You know, you can get cinnamon and cardamom, but really, to me, this is about 3 notes. You're going to get a lot of tonka. It's very sweet. You're going to get coffee. Definitely a coffee fragrance, and you're also going to get a lot of whiskey. So those 3 notes really stand out for me. You get super strong performance, and I mean, it is just a dominant fragrance straight up. Definitely going to smell like a boss when you wear this, and it's not that expensive. So yeah, I mean, I really do think people wear fragrances for different reasons. Usually, you know, it can depend on our mood, or maybe you're the type of person that you always want compliments, or maybe you always want to get social status. Either way, this video today, pure social status, you're much less likely to get compliments, but that doesn't matter. I think people will still be impressed by how you smell. Anyway, thanks for watching.